mean, if you go to some of the after hours, you're normally walking around between groups of people. You're balancing a plate of food on one hand, you got a cup in the other hand, you're throwing business cards out. And I gave up. It just was not something that I enjoyed. It didn't help me a lot in gaining business. And I would wind up finding a person sitting in the corner and sitting and talking to them all night and getting to know one person rather than going from, group to group to group. Because what often happened was you get a bunch of people from the bank and they'd all be together talking, and you'd get, a bunch of people over here from this store and they'd all be sitting there talking and having fun, and nobody was really getting to know other people. So and then we had this wonderful COVID, so we couldn't go out and do it anyway. And I got to thinking, we still need to have connection. As humans, we need to be connected with other people. We need to talk, we need to share. I know that we're all of us just about zoomed out. I know I am. I have 3 to 5 meetings a day often on Zoom. But if we can do this in a comfortable, natural way, not only do we get to meet other people, but we get to learn a little something. We get to share our own ideas and thoughts, and we generally have a lot of fun while we're doing it. So that's what this is all about. And I am going to start off up at the top corner on my screen, and we're going to go around and briefly, everybody, you can introduce yourself and give us the shortened spiel about who you are and what you do. And I'm going to start with Sonia.
Sonia Howard. Santa back here is my husband, Alan Howard, and we are Al Howard Photography. We have a small photography business here in Elkhart that we are working on, and we've been working with Nancy for several years now, growing our business.
And you're doing a great job of it.
Thank you, Nancy.
They just did Santa Claus pictures, and I think had one of the best years you've ever had, didn't you?
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah. So, okay, Mr. Ed, tell us who you are.
Well, now Nancy got hers muted. I can talk. My name is Ed Becker. I'm the other half of that one over there. I am an ordained deacon and chaplain. I am working on my degree. I am also an instructor of bodyguards and bounty hunters, which I haven't done in a while because my main focus has been taking care of Nancy, which, believe me, is a full-time job. She's going to slap me for it later, but that's beside the point.
I'll explain that in a minute. Joe, who are you and what do you do?
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Joe Sword. I'm down here in Greenwood, Indiana, and I do chocolate advertising specialties. So if you need a new way to market your business or something different way to market your business, do it with something sweet, use chocolate.
And she does great work. I need to order some new things from her. I have, as most of you know, my tag is "Don't wait till pigs fly," and I've got the most wonderful lollipops that I hand out to people that are the cutest little flying pigs ever. And they're chocolate, but the pig itself is pink because it's got raspberry, right, flavoring on it, and then the wings are white chocolate, and I just love them. And everybody I hand them out to, it's a great way of letting people remember who you are and what you do, is something like that, because you don't see that often. So, I highly recommend Joe and what she does for people. So
thank you, Nancy.
Yep. Andrea, you're up now.
Hey, hi everybody. First time caller. I'm so glad you invited me to this. Just met Nancy couple months ago, right before the holidays. So glad we connected. I've had so much fun. I am a mindset coach. So what I do is I generally work with coaches who have had some kind of a wellness challenge. So it could be weight loss, it could be autoimmune disorders, it can be anything like that, and who in turn want to coach other people through their wellness journey. And I come in and I help them with mindset issues. I help them with things like fatigue and burnout. And we work through things like imposter syndrome, because a lot of times when you've been through that challenge, you kind of get that, who am I to help somebody else get through this? Right. Yeah, I'm the same way. I've had MS for, actually, it's my anniversary this week. So 21 years with MS. Yeah. And so I've worked with people with MS for 10 years through like the MS Society and through private coaching. So now I am coaching the coaches who put themselves in that situation, and I'm helping them because there is a lot that goes into that. And I want to help them be able to deliver all of those amazing results that only they can for their clients, but without compromising their own health, because it can be pretty intense work.
Yeah.
So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because I said I'd explain later for anybody who doesn't know. It's going on 7 years. I can't believe it. I was in a really bad hit and run car accident, and as a consequence have had 16 surgeries and procedures, and have gone from walking 2 miles a day to being in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So so now that's who I work with as well, is women, successful or established women business owners who wind up with chronic illnesses, and they just fall through the floor because they can't deal with it anymore, but yet they still want and need to have something to do to show their self-esteem, their self-reliance, all of those kinds of things. So I think what you're doing is great, Andrea. So
Right back at you.
thank you. Rebecca, you're next. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm from New York. I met Nancy today. I'm a virtual assistant, and I was just doing some cold pitching to try to get clients, and she sent me this way, and I'm really glad to be here and see what I can learn from everybody.
Great. Well, we welcome you, and I'm sure, these are all wonderful people to get to know and learn from, and we'll get you going on the right path.
Rebecca, where in New York?
Jamestown, about an hour from Buffalo.
He's from Long Island.
Okay. Not in the city, but
yeah. Hello, Anza.
Hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful. Tell us what you do.
Awesome. Well, my name is Anza Goodbar. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I do lots of different things. I have 2 active businesses right now. One is a life design strategy business. I work with women, specifically Christian moms, who need to replace their income because they lost their job or had to give up their job for COVID, and they need to help school their kids. So I help them take their passions, their experience, their skills, and turn it into a 6-figure business in 6 to 12 months. And I also just started a Bible study that will start in February for Christian women in business who would like to learn how to build biblical principles into their business and run a business filled with integrity and tapping into the power of God. And so I'm super excited about my small little tribe that's growing. And then I also run a virtual business services company that I've had since 2008. And I provide business strategy and project management type services to female entrepreneurs.
Yeah, she does great work. I've known Anza now for 2 or 3 years, I think. And I do lots of really great and exciting things coming your way. So give you lots of kudos.
Anza, is the Bible study virtual?
It is.
I would really love to be a part of that.
Awesome. Can I post a link, Nancy? Is that okay?
Please do.
Awesome. I'm just going to post a little questionnaire, and I'm just asking people, like what their time availability is and that type of thing, so I can choose a time and day that will work best for the biggest number of people.
Yeah. And at the end of the meeting, we will go around again, and everybody that has anything that they're doing that they want to share, something special like that, you'll get the opportunity. I got cat here. You'll get the opportunity to share that at that point too. So, all right, are we ready to hear from Allie? The way the process goes is she's going to give us a little bit of an introduction as to who she is. She's going to talk for a few minutes, and then we're just going to open this up to a discussion. Is everybody up for that and ready to go? Yeah? All right. Allie, welcome.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here. Are you introing me? I know you asked for some info, or should I just go?
Go. Just go.
Awesome. Okay. So let's see. I started working in corporate America and ended up sort of doing this strategic marketing stuff that was kind of focused on customer service and customer loyalty. And I thought it was really cool. And I loved the work so much that I completely left it behind and ended up becoming an entrepreneur, and kind of became an accidental entrepreneur. And like I said, by accident, I started writing about this topic that really interested me. And it happened to be the art and science of how a bra fits a woman's body. And writing a blog became writing a book, and ultimately became a business. And I ended up creating the world's leading bra fit training and certification program for lingerie professionals. So consumers would buy the book, Fit My Bras, and then I was training professionals on this art and science of bra fitting. And it was great, and I loved it. And I had clients all over the world. And sorry, my dog is playing with a bone next to me. So if you hear that, life in COVID. And so what ended up happening was my clients would come to me and they would say, Allie, my customers are crying tears of joy in the fitting room. Our bra fitting techniques are amazing. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then knowing what I knew from my work in customer loyalty from my corporate days, I would say, that's great. Now, what are you doing to make sure that the customers come back, that they stay loyal, that they keep buying bras from you? And these retailers would kind of look at me and they wouldn't really say anything. And what became apparent was that they didn't have a plan. They were happy to get the customer. They were happy to serve the customer, but they did not have a plan to keep their customers. So the light bulb went off, and I ended up working with my lingerie clients on this whole customer loyalty, customer retention. How do you serve your customers at a deeper level in order to help them get a better value from your complete range of services and also help your business grow? And over time, working with lingerie retailers became working with lots and lots of different companies. And today my company is called Alignment Growth Strategies. And we work with companies around the world on how to develop these processes for consistent and profitable long-term customer relationships so that you stop missing that money from existing customers. And again, serve at a deeper level and make your customers not just love you, but be much more profitable at the same time. So that is sort of the quick and dirty of my background. And, I so casually behind me, you might have noticed, have a book sitting there. Oopsie. And that's my book, Keep Your Customers, which came out in April, and is sort of my thinking on this topic. It's not enough to get your customers. You have to make sure you keep them. And that's sort of how you do it.
I love it. I am, and you can ask Ed. I am the biggest customer service fanatic there is in the world. And we will go into a restaurant, or we'll go into a store, or we'll go someplace, and the customer service is terrible. and I'll go, I'm sorry, but I gotta say something, and it's just, because I can't stand bad customer service.
Right.
But then on the other hand, I have been known to go up to somebody and say, can I speak to your manager, please? And they get this, oh God, what's happened? And the manager will come up, kind of slink up, like, I don't want to hear one more thing. And I'll say, I just had to tell you that I've had the best service today of any time I've ever had. And you get the biggest grins, and and then of course that's going to trickle down to the person who we had actually worked with. And that I'm going to remember, and I'm going to tell others about, hey, we had great customer service here, and it's going to bring on more business. And I think I often talk about, how do you create raving fans?
Yeah, as a customer, I also feel that same obligation, right? I'm going to call it out when I see it, and I'm not shy about voting with my wallet. And that goes both ways. And not only will I say, can I talk to the manager, but I'm big on, depending on the situation, like I will write a letter and say, please put this in your employee's file. And when it comes time for bonuses, please keep this in mind. So I'm a big fan of calling it out one way, both ways.
There's a book. I did a presentation when I could still get up and walk. I did a presentation on how to create raving fans. And I read a couple of books to get some research and background. And one of the books I read, and I highly recommend it, it's almost high school level reading. It's really simple reading, but it's called Terry the Taxi. And it's all about all these different people and different businesses that have good and bad customer service. And at one time, I was married to a guy who was a cab driver in Washington, D.C. And this one piece of the book was about this guy that was a cab driver. And I kept telling Betty, I think you need to do this, because the guy was booked from early in the morning until late at night, 7 days a week, because he would have a stack of newspapers. He would have air pots with coffee and hot tea, and he had all different kinds of music. And, just somebody would get into the cab and he'd, oh, how are you today? And all of these kinds of, and it was just incredible, the things that he would do. And then on the other hand, I went to visit Ed once when he was teaching in New York, and the cab driver was trying to take me around in circles to charge me more money. And I'm going, wait a minute. He literally threw me out of the cab into the feet of a police officer, who then gave the guy a ticket. So, it's customer service is at the bottom of everything we do. I think you can have great business, you can provide a great service or product, but if people don't know about you, they're not going to buy. If people don't hear things like, that was the best chocolate lollipops I've ever had, they're not going to buy. If you say the customer service in this restaurant was horrible, they're not going to come in. So you've got to think about how you treat people. And I know there are some techniques for seeing how you're doing, how looking at yourself, but Ali, tell us, what do you recommend for if we want to make sure that we're doing really good customer service?
Talk to your customers. That's really the way that you learn. I know that there are techniques and people are really into, that 1 to 10 question, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend? And, those I think people are tired of, and they feel like they're a little played and they feel impersonal. And if what you're trying to do is create a rich relationship with your customers, then rate how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 doesn't exactly smack of, wonderful, rich, personal care. And but the key is to understand your customers and be able to understand the difference between the people who are your loyal customers, the ones who are going to be the most profitable, the most long-term for you, and everybody else, because all customers are not created equal. And so what you want to do when you're listening to that feedback, I mean, yes, it's helpful to listen to feedback, but you want to really think about whose feedback you're listening to, because I've seen so many companies over rotate on the wrong information because they listened to just anybody. And so and that's where I think that this whole, NPS score thing goes so wrong, is that they don't differentiate between who you're listening to. And so, company will be like, get the NPS score up. We want more net promoters. And then, they end up, listening, like I said, to, they lump everybody into one bucket, and that's not helpful.
Yeah. Rebecca, that's fine. Don't worry. Just come on back in when you can.
Oh, and by the way, no, I should tell you, we're neighbors. I'm in Indianapolis.
Joe was also in DC.
Oh,
She
okay.
and she were neighbors in DC years and years ago. So it's a small world.
I guess I'm following you then.
It's a small world. But I think too that you're so right in that just share with your clients, just talk to them. But I know that I've read, and I don't know if this is still something that people do or not, but you can do I can remember going around all the different McDonald's in the DC area when I was there, and we would do secret shopper type things and see the kinds of service that the different McDonald's would give you, and paid darn well too. but most of the McDonald's did not have good customer service, and you don't want to be known for not having good customer service. You want to be up on the top of that, and so I just really think that it's important, but I don't know, maybe I get carried away. I want to open it up to everybody else here on the conversation tonight, and let's just talk about it and see our understanding, our thoughts, how we deal with our customers. What do you do that's particularly special that brings your customers coming back to you? You give them chocolate.
Well, I can kind of talk from being an online business and, in a coaching business. I do give presents to people. I do that to my clients. I send them little gifts and love and things like that. But one thing that I do is I'm always asking them, and I make them feel it's one thing to ask them and to, have direct questions about customer service, but you really want them to know that they can talk to you honestly about it, because some people are going to be like, oh no, it's fine, it's great. And then you're not getting the story because maybe they're upset that you didn't email them fast enough or whatever it is. So it's creating that receptive environment to where they feel like they can honestly tell you. Because I'm guessing that none of us are going to have terrible customer service. Like everybody here sounds amazing. So it's not that we're going to be doing something horrible, but we do want to know, exactly what that customer experience is like. We can't know that for them. And so it's, asking questions. I like to do like an exit kind of a thing where, testimonials are really important for me. And so I put it in with there, but I ask, both sides, and I let them know, like, totally honest. And by the time they've worked with me, they know they can, say anything. But I think that's an important thing, to get the truth instead of just a yes man kind of response.
So a lot of companies that I work with, especially smaller companies, you're right, nobody is providing terrible customer service, and everybody, cares about their customers. A lot of times what I find is, though, that there isn't really a process. And so there's good intentions, but there's a real difference between good intentions that are not always carried through consistently, and making sure that you have a process that is, on lock. And so, for a lot of my clients, it isn't just they have employees, there are team members. And so once it gets beyond the business owner, that becomes even more important. And so making sure that you're clarifying, like, how do we play with our customers? What are we doing? So, I'll create with my clients a customer facing mission statement. So, most companies, they go through this process when they start their company and they come up with a mission and a vision and values. And that's really great, but it's all about the company. And a lot of times, companies don't take that moment to create a customer facing mission statement that everybody can use and tap into. And so that everybody's kind of aiming for the same bullseye together. And so, and then taking that as the foundation for what are the clear and consistent processes that we're going to deliver, so that you're engaging with what I call it as you've got the heart, so that everybody has that that foundation for engagement and relationship, but then you also have the smart of that consistency, so that everybody can rely on the process. So what I see sometimes is, okay, we're going to do gifts, or we're going to do cards, or we're going to do something. And it just, like, intentions are good, but follow through is not. And and I'm in the same boat, right? I mean, I'm a small business, and, right now, especially with COVID, I do a gift to new clients, and, I got to go get to the post office, and I have to do it. I can't outsource it, because part of what I do is sign my books. And so it's not just something that I can outsource to somebody. And it's personal, I don't just have a generic, whatever, like, good to know you in my books. It's always personal. And so getting to the post office is a real barrier for me, especially right now. But, I am dedicated to my process. I am dedicated to making sure that within a week of signing on with me, somebody has something in their lap. But that's where I think that the intention doesn't necessarily always become the reality.
And can it be even, I mean, I agree totally with that, but can it even be simpler than that? Can it be just like a follow-up after you've had a phone call or a Zoom call with someone, just sending them a message and saying, I really enjoyed talking with you today. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy day to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, it absolutely doesn't have to be a gift. And, look, there's a big difference between something that is a heartfelt note and a no thought corporate gift, right? We've all received things in the mail from companies and have not really felt connected to them, right? Like, we know that they, like, whatever, corporate just sent out a thing. And that doesn't necessarily build loyalty as much as a free email that is truly thoughtful in terms of building relationships. So you don't have to spend money. But what I will say is, a lot of times when I talk about the opportunities to gift, and one of the things that I talk about a lot is that the way that you welcome somebody new into your business, and the value of that as a way of starting off the relationship, but also making sure that you are getting ahead of any Monday morning quarterbacking or second guessing. And that is a vulnerable moment in businesses. So when you can cement with a gift, it actually helps to move that needle, and it's harder for people to cancel when they've gotten a gift from you. And so, making sure that you're doing it in a thoughtful way is important.
Well, and that's something that I was just thinking about too. I've had this gift card on my phone since before Christmas. Somebody had asked me to do a survey for them, and I did. And the next thing I know, I got this coupon for $5 at a Starbucks. Well, that's great. Well, number one, there are no Starbucks in the area that are open. and there's 3-mile long lines around the Starbucks that are here. I'm not going to sit and wait for that for, a cup of coffee. So I think you also need to think about what it is you're giving. I love the idea of getting a gift. Joe can talk about lumpy packages on all those kinds of things. And I got something in the mail. Wow, that's really cool. But it's also got to be something that you can use.
Right. Yeah, fair. And you may not always get it exactly right, but at least it needs to be thoughtful. And again, this is where knowing your customers and at least knowing your loyal customers, so that if you're going to get it wrong, at least you're going to get it right for the people who are most inclined to be loyal with you.
Yep.
That's why that work is so important.
Yeah. And I think that was my point, is that it was not a carefully thought out from the heart gift. It was I'm just going to give you this, because you did it. Thanks a lot. There wasn't, I would have much preferred I really appreciate what you've done, because now I feel guilty that I've got this $5 sitting there that I'm never going to use,
Right.
So Sonia, you wanted to say something, I think.
Well, yeah, when you were talking about heartfelt gifts, it's like this year for the Santa pictures, every year I always put a picture holder of some sort in with the Santa packet with the pictures that they can set out, put one of their pictures in and set out. This year we actually handmade holders, and people really appreciated those. They were simple, but they were nice, and they were handmade, and I went through and signed every single one of them individually.
That's awesome. I mean,
everybody loved them.
We've gotten into such a world of automated everything, drop shipped everything, impersonal everything. Look, I buy gifts from Amazon, and they show up in those bags they used to wrap them, and now they have the bags and the printed cards. And I send those gifts because it's convenient sometimes, not in business, but in, personal life. And I get them. And it's not that I don't appreciate them, but they don't compare to something that is personal, hand created, handwritten. People notice. How many of you guys have pets? How many of you have ordered from Chewy?
Mother-in-law just did for the first time.
So they have amazing customer service. They're kind of known for it, and they are spot on every time. And every year up until this year, they have sent a handwritten thing, like Christmas card, holiday card, to their customers. And I'm not confused. I don't think that the employees of Chewy are sitting there handwriting the cards, right? They've outsourced it to a company. I get it. But I still notice it, and I appreciate it. Joe, you're nodding your head. You've noticed it as well? And Nancy? I didn't get one this year. Did you guys get one this year?
Nope.
You got one? All right. I didn't get one. Maybe you're spending more.
You guys order more than everybody else.
Yeah.
So special.
I thought I was supporting them pretty well, but I guess I wasn't on the top tier.
I have a German Shepherd. They get the nice order every month from me.
Oh, all right. Well, but that's interesting, right? Like they obviously went from sending it to pretty much everybody to sending it to some of their customers, the customers that hit a threshold. And I missed the card this year. I actually noticed because I was always so impressed that they sent it and and they took the time to hire a company to handwrite the cards.
Yeah, I think that goes so far. There's a story that I was telling when I was doing the customer presentation, and the name of the shoe company just went out of my mind. But it's a shoe company that's out of San Francisco, and the owner just died, Tommy Sue, something like that.
Zappos.
Yeah. they have had the most fantastic customer service. And there's a story about this woman who lived in Chicago, and she had to go to San Francisco to be a presenter at a conference. And she packed everything up. She had this perfect outfit. She had her shoes that she had bought to go with the outfit. And she's running late to get into the cab to get to the airport to go to San Francisco. And she forgot her shoes. So then she's going, once she gets to San Francisco, she's going absolutely crazy because she can't find another pair of shoes. And she actually hit, I guess they have storefronts there in San Francisco. And she actually hit a couple of the storefronts trying to find the shoe, and they didn't have them in her size. And so she called customer service and she said, I don't know what to do. I've got to have these shoes. Give them to me. They spent an entire day tracking down where they could get her a pair of her shoes, got them to her hand delivered at the hotel she was staying at, and did not charge her for them.
So they're legendary for that, and it's baked into their culture, and that's why it works, is because it isn't just a poster on the wall. It is truly baked into the culture of the company. And there are so many great stories about them going that extra mile. And what's wonderful about those stories, and I talk about them in the book and call them there's moments of celebration, and then there's sort of like this moment of unreasonable celebration, right? It's not even random acts of celebration where you do something that's so extraordinary and doesn't even make sense financially at all. But here we are talking about that woman getting her shoes, and think about how many people have probably told that story for this random act of celebration, and they make their money back not on that interaction, but on the stories, the legend of that customer service in the long run.
Yeah. It's amazing when you stop to think about it. And I'm sitting here thinking, I want to do something special for my clients, but it boggles my mind. I don't know what to do, and I think that becomes another issue, is what can we do? And I love the fact that Sonia and Al did the photograph, the frames. She was telling me about it at the time, and I'm going, yes, that's so great. But I think just the fact of thinking about it and trying to figure out something is an important step in the process.
Yep. Yeah, so I recently, even just since the book came out, I rebranded my company. So the company name is now Alignment, and it's spelled MINT, Align MINT, because I have a 4-step process that I work with my clients on, and it's called the MINT method. And so when I was trying to think of what the gift was going to be for my clients, I was going through every kind of mint, mint tea, mint plant, look, you're growing. Like I was mint trying to figure it out. Mint chocolate, like really not
I'll vote for that.
Not sure. But what I ended up doing was I found this really cool Jenga game. And so I ended up leaning more into the Align side of the company than the Mint side of the company, because not only is Jenga all about aligning the pieces, but it's also all about engagement. And so in the instructions, I tell people, put this in your break room, let your employees, let your team play with it. And so that, so that it becomes part of the fun of the company. Because that's very much part of the brand. So coming up with the idea and making it be a part of who you are uniquely, like Sonia and like they did with their picture frames, that's so important and fun.
And it is fun. Yeah, it's great. And they always do at Christmas, they always put little Christmas stockings together for the kids, and Valentine's Day, they have Valentine's, presents that they give out to the kids. It really makes their business stand out from the rest.
Goodie bags for Christmas, goodie bags for Halloween, goodie bags for Easter. We do. We try to, because I want our customers to come in and feel comfortable and know that they are appreciated and that we want to give them the best experience possible.
Yeah.
Al he's a very patient man with the little kids. When they have meltdowns in Santa's lap, he just kind of sits there. He tries to think of different things he can do. And the parents, they're like apologizing. It's like, don't apologize. It's okay. We deal with something like this every year. So it's okay. Don't worry. We try to make them feel try to make them feel good. We don't want anybody to apologize to us for anything because there is no reason to.
Yeah, that's really great. Joe, you and I haven't heard from either one of you. Do you have anything you'd like to share? I know you both got stories. Nope, I'm not going to get either one of you. There we go.
There we go. Sorry, my mouse didn't want to unmute me. One of the things that I employ is the 5 love languages. And so when I give a gift, I try to make it meaningful for each and every person. And so, I've done simple things like a Visa gift card with a handwritten note. I have paid for a session with a maid to come in and do some cleaning for people. I have done a little spa thing where they can go get a mani-pedi or a massage or something. So I try and make it really meaningful to them for those special occasions, like a year, 2 years kind of thing. But I am really big on handwritten notes. I agree with what Ali said. Everything is so automated. And I get some of those little automated cards in the mail and they're really nice. But the ones that I hold on to are right here on my desk. A client wrote me a little handwritten card and I open it up and I read it. And it's like, I know that those work. So I like to buy really beautiful artisan kind of cards and send those on a regular basis. Because one of the things that I have learned in my business is, we all want to be seen, heard, and understood. And if we send something that says something specific about them, they feel seen and heard and hopefully understood too. Because through different research that I've done, I have found that women feel unseen, unheard, and misunderstood in 33% of their relationships. And in 67% of those relationships, they feel entirely invisible. So to get something in the mail that speaks directly to them, that says, hey, I thought about you, you mean something, here's something, tangible that you can hold on to and go back and reference when you're feeling unseen, unheard, or misunderstood. So,
well, just stop and think for a second just about the fact that what do you always get in the mail? The only things we ever get in the mail anymore are bills, right?
And junk.
And junk.
Coupons.
Coupons, yeah. So if you get something like that, how do you feel even before you open it up? I get this tingle in my belly and it says, oh, I'm getting something. What is this? And I get excited about it. And then when I open it up and I see what it is, I go, oh, how sweet. And it just makes me feel, especially if I'm having a crappy day, it makes me feel really, really good to think somebody took the time. It's like you said, you got to go to the post office, you got to get a stamp, you got to buy the card or make the card or whatever, and that shows dedication to your customers. Yeah, I think that's important. And Joe, what you started to say something.
Well, sending out things to people is very important. Now, I do chocolate, So if they're going to get something from me, it typically would be something in chocolate, but I do it a little different. If they're having a birthday, I have a bar that says happy birthday. If they're having a wedding anniversary, we have happy anniversary bars. They're called message bars. So I will do that. If I know what colors, their favorite colors, I'll add that to it somehow or another. Favorite flavor, I'll do that. But then we have clients that, for example, chocolate dipped bacon is very popular. I don't know why, but it's very popular. So at Christmas, I had just before Christmas, since we've been doing Zoom for so long, I'm in BNI, and I think he was my second client when I reinvented the chocolate business here. Chocolate dip bacon. He had been hinting, oh, I don't know, for 2 or 3 months about chocolate dip bacon, waiting for my bacon. So I made up a huge, almost about a pound of it. And we never could get together or meet anywhere to drop it off. So I left it in the door and I said, it's in the door. You know, the dog will greet you at the door and say hello. But anyway, I got a really sweet note back from him because he didn't share it with anybody. I don't know if it made it home or not, but you know, doing those little special things for people that you know what they like. And he would never think to go to a bakery. I don't know if they do these at bakeries, but I know Kroger's has had it before, but he would never go to a place and just buy it, you know. But so I try to do things like that. And it's, you know, and I even go a step farther. If I'm looking for a client, I read either the Washington Business Journal or the Indianapolis Business Journal. And if somebody has gotten a promotion or has joined a company and I really want to get my foot in the door because we do chocolate logo bars, I'm very tempted to send them, and I do, a handwritten note and a chocolate bar that says good luck, congratulations, whatever's happening in that event. And surprisingly, I get comments back, and you know, it just doesn't go to the dead mail office or something. So that's just some of the little things that, you know, that I can do. But they're going to get chocolate in one way, shape, or form.
I do have a story I have to tell about that too, to show you how long Joe and I've been doing things together. I used to have her make my business card in chocolate, and I would put it in a package and mail it off to different people. And all of a sudden one day somebody walked in, and it was the police, and they walked in the door of my office, and I'm going, you know, what's going on? It was during the time in DC of was it sarin?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Oh, my computer's about to go. They had seen my package, the lumpy package and all of that, and caught it because they didn't know what it was. And I got in trouble for sending out my business card.
That's so funny.
But normally it's a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
So, Andrea, any thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm loving this, just kind of hearing all the ideas. I love sending presents. I love doing handwritten cards. I usually, you know, because of what I do, mine center around motivation, you know, self-care, that kind of thing. But one source that I like that is great if you don't always have just like one thing that you always send is something like Etsy. That's a really, really good source because there's a lot of, like, number one, I just like to support other small businesses, but also there's a lot of really cool artisan things that sometimes are like one of a kind. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes these people put out just kind of a batch of something, and it's really cool. And it can be something that people haven't seen before. So I really like that as a resource for everything from stationery to little gifts and that kind of stuff. But I love the idea of sending little gifts, sending love. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I found a whole bunch of flying pigs on Etsy the other day.
It's great. It's a fantastic resource.
It is. I love Etsy
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we have almost gone through our whole hour, and I promised that I would give y'all time to share anything that's coming up for you in the pipeline. Let's start with Allie. Do you have any programs or anything that you're wanting to share?
You know, I'm really doing just consulting right now, although stay tuned if you want to get on my email list. You can go to the website, which is alignmentforgrowth.com, because in the next quarter, I'm going to start offering an online program that walks people through the process, which is going to be great for smaller businesses. So that's sort of what I have coming up. And then the book, Keep Your Customers.
I
And
was just
come
going to ask
find me on
about that.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. Where do we find the book?
Oh, the book is everywhere. You can buy the book wherever books are sold, Amazon, all the good places. It's pretty much everywhere.
Cool.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. Sonia, what do you guys have coming up?
Well,
Go for it.
we've got our boudoir sessions going on right now for Valentine's Day, where we're offering a special price. If you book by the end of the month, your appointment doesn't have to be in the month. You just have to book it before the end of the month. And then we've got Easter Bunny after that. So
one of the things that we're trying to do for them is find different events and different things that are going on throughout the year that, and she talks about this all the time, and I will too. When my mom and dad were still with us, I kept saying, I need to get new pictures of my mom and dad. I need to. They're in their 90s, they're sick, there's not going to be with us much longer. I need to get pictures. And it never happened. And so I've got tons of pictures on my phone, but they're not quality. They're not, Al does such wonderful work. And
you did get one good one of your dad at your cookout though.
Yep, I did. That was good. But it's their motto is make time stand still. I never remember that.
We help you make time stand still.
And that's so important. And we don't often think about that because we do have our cell phones and we're snapping here and there and everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I know for a lot of us, there's no way. Ends up book a flight right now and get to Elkhart, Indiana, and they have your pictures taken. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But you need to think about those things too. And
just to make my point hit home, I have a 95-year-old grandmother that is still here with us, still living at home alone. And I did what Nancy didn't do. We went and had a picture done with my grandmother because her health isn't the greatest. And we don't know how much longer she's going to be here. And I used that for all of November. I talked about how important it is to capture those special moments with those loved ones, especially after the year we've had. We've lost so many family members, friends, acquaintances, customers, to COVID that I felt it was really something that was important. People should, and cell phones, they're always coming out with better cameras. But it's not the same as a professional photographer.
Yeah, it's not. So anyway, they have a great website that has all sorts of, she's been doing history lessons on what does boudoir photography mean. Fascinating information. And you need to friend her on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, because she's always doing interesting history lessons on different things. So anyway, Mr. Ed, you got anything happening other than taking care of me?
Just doing homework.
He's now setting up a new business for marriages. He's been ordained and he's going to school. He's getting his bachelor's degree in divinity. And so he's created a new business for marriages. So that's going to be coming up in the near future. We're really excited about once we get into our house. not doing much of anything until we get into the house. So
It's hard to do a whole lot in 28 foot with two cats. If you notice me keep on looking over here to the side, I've got one sleeping here next to me. And she's keeping me busy.
and
Trying to keep her awake so she won't get terrorized.
in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, if you can see up above me there's this ledge. She jumps up in there, and 3 o'clock in the morning, we're sound asleep, and all of a sudden, whoop, right at our face. She jumps down top of us. So that ends our sleep. So anyway, Andrea, what's going on for you? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, sure. I'm just laughing at that with cats. We don't have cats. We have a dog, and she goes in the kennel at night because she would be doing the same thing, and she's 50 pounds. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, we love them.
Yeah.
I had to kick mine out at the beginning. I don't know if y'all saw.
There she is.
Look at that Punum. So cute. I don't have anything specific going on, but I do have an ongoing program that I do. It's called Mean Girl Rehab, and it's all about us taming that inner mean girl. Some people call it the inner critic. I have a client that calls her Madge. It's that inner voice that is always, posing that self-doubt and second guessing ourselves. And so this program is for people who feel like they could be more supportive of themselves. They don't want to be so mean, because it does stop you. It makes you freeze up. It gets you overwhelmed. It makes you so you procrastinate and all that kind of stuff. So Mean Girl Rehab is my program. It's a 1-month program where we not only help you be more supportive, but really create that mindset shift. So you look at that inner critic in a completely different way that's actually more helpful, because it's there to help you. It's just misunderstood. So that is an ongoing program. And I do have books as well. My website is AndreaHansonCoaching.com. That's SON coaching. And I've got 2 books about mindset and living with autoimmune disorders. There's Live Your Life, Not Your Diagnosis, and then Stop Carrying the Weight of Your MS. So
Love it.
and
Love it.
yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram, friend me on Facebook. I would love to connect with anybody.
Wonderful. Anza, I know you've got your prayer study coming up. What else is going on?
I have a new hybrid mastermind mentoring program coming out for women. It's called, we changed the name. What are we calling it? I don't know, something like a 6-figure blueprint for your life and business. And I will be walking women through the process of building a business, from starting with their business plan from the very beginning all the way through launch. There's lots and lots of fun stuff in there. We're going to be doing branding guides, creating their ideal client. I have over 150 free resources and templates that they'll be getting in order to start their business from scratch and build 6 figures in the next 6 to 12 months. And I'm taking 12 women. So if you know any women that have been displaced and need to figure out a new plan for creating income that is recession proof, send them my way.
Great. Joe, anything special other than just lots of chocolate?
Well, let's see, Valentine's Day and then Easter, and just I do mostly custom work. So I don't have a website that you can go and just order from. I did before when I was in Virginia with my chocolate shop, but here I haven't really gotten into that because I work closely with my clients. But I've been tempted to maybe start putting some of that out there. I've had a couple of requests. So it's, but it's chocolate. And if you order online like they used to with the other site, I still had to talk to you. I still had questions. So I mean, it still ended up being custom.
And how does it work now with mailing chocolates? What do you, I know you've got the containers and things that you put stuff in that keeps the chocolate solid.
As long as it's not in the middle of summer and, I'm not sending to, depends upon where it's going to, but for the most part, I can mail almost year round, because if we have to, we can still put in cold packs and things like that. but I always encourage people to think ahead. I have no minimums. That's what sets me apart. You can order one or you can order 100. So I get people to think ahead during those times to where they do order a little more, so we don't have to worry about sending anything over this summer.
Wonderful.
We'll ship worldwide. So
That's great. And for me, my program, my mastermind program, The Gathering, is going strong. And we work specifically with established businesses who have chronic issues and different things like that. And we go through successes and different kinds of things like that, and a lot of heavy training in each one of our meetings. So we talk about, you know, different things, different tools, different processes. And we're actually looking for a few. We've got a few new.
King, I am the host of Impacting Life 24/7, which is
You just didn't want anybody to talk about a mastermind, right? I'll remember that. Anyway, guys, I think that's a perfect way to end the meeting. And I loved having you all here. It was a fantastic night tonight. Got a lot of information. Connect. You now have everybody's names and information. Reach out on LinkedIn, reach out on Facebook, make connections with each other, and start to build this relationship. You never know where it can lead you. So next month, same place, same time. It's always the third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have to remember I'm no longer in Eastern time zone. But it'll be another really good one. And I'm not sure yet who we'll have, but put it on your calendars now and share with other business contacts, because I'd love to get a few more people on here to share their thoughts and ideas and meet other people and see where we can go. Thank you, Allie, so much. This has just been a wonderful, wonderful evening. It was so good seeing you and talking to you again. I wish you a lot of luck with your new branding. And until next time, guys. Till next time, get out there,
Allie.
be productive, and soar higher. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.